Another ridiculous question.
Tell me.
If every jungle creature was the same size,
Oh boy.
who would be the new apex predator, the new alpha at the top of the food chain?
Dude, that's like Super Smash Brothers of the jungle. That's
Hell yeah.
incredible.
Yeah.
Like bullet ants. If you had a bullet ant that was the size.
Yeah. Can it be like a tournament?
So everyone is pound for pound ratioed.
Yeah.
For efficiency. So you have basically like a 6-foot bullet ant versus a huge black caiman versus an anaconda versus ocelots are the size of jaguars versus.
Yeah. Well, let's go bullet ant versus black caiman.
But
Same
they're
size.
comparable
Same
size.
size.
I don't know, man. I never thought about it. I mean, bullet ant has these giant mandibles. It could probably grab the black caiman, and then at that amount of venom, you're talking about a bucket of venom going into that black caiman. Black caiman's going to get paralyzed immediately.
Well, insects have just a tremendous amount of like strength. I don't know how they generate what the geometry of that is. The natural world can't create that same kind of power in the bigger thing. It seems like.
It seems like
ants and like just these tiny creatures are the ones that are able to have that much strength. So I don't know how that works. What the physics of that is.
So like an ant, a leafcutter ant lifting that leaf, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. It doesn't make any sense. I don't know if that's a limit of physics. I think it's just a limit of evolution of how that works.
One of the most interesting limits that I heard somebody talking about recently was the reason that dinosaurs didn't get bigger, even bigger, because the conditions on Earth were favorable towards it, was that at some point their eggs reached, there's physical limits, that their eggs reached a size that the eggs were so big that eggs need to breathe for the embryo to survive. And their eggs reached a limit where in order to have a shell that could hold the mass of the liquid and the young dinosaur, if they got bigger, it wouldn't be permeable anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was so interesting because the entire size of physical creatures was determined by how thick shell can be before it breaks or before it can't pass air through it.
Yeah, there might be a lot of the like biophysics limits.
That's fascinating stuff.
Just like the interplay between biology, chemistry, and physics of a life form. It's like this thing, there's a lot involved in creating a single living organism that could survive in this world. And bigger, being big is not always good, but being a big creature, it's for many reasons. Like you were saying, the big creatures seem to be going extinct.
Yeah.
For many reasons. But in the human world, it's because they seem to be of higher value.
Given the current size of the jungle, I think that the MVP, the pound for pound goat, is ocelots. You're talking about like a mid-size 40, 50 pound cat that can climb, that does, unlike a jaguar, every time it hunts, it's going after a deer. It catches a deer. The deer could hit it with its antlers. It could tear it with its hooves. It's risking its life for that meal. An ocelots walk around at night and they climb a tree, eat a whole bunch of eggs, eat the mother bird too, kill a snake, maybe mess around and eat a baby caiman. They can have whatever they like. And they're sleek enough and smart enough to get away from predators. So they don't really have predators. And so they sort of occupy this perfect niche where they can hunt small prey in high quantity without taking on big risks. And so if you had to choose an animal to be, it would probably be like an ocelot, or I would say giant river otters, which are so damn cool because the locals call them lobos de rio, river wolves, because they're so tough and they're so social and they're so like us because they're intensely familial groups. They live in holes by the sides of lakes and they swim through the water and they catch fish all day long, piranhas. They eat them just like the scales go flying as they eat these piranhas. And they're so joyous in the way they swim and they have friends and they have family. And I think we could relate to being a river otter really, because I can't picture being a cat and being so solitary and just marching along a 15-mile route and making sure there's no other cats and coming in on your territory and marking that territory. It seems very solo and very cat-like.
It's a lonely existence. And we humans are social beings.
We're so social. And so to me, river otters is like having a big Italian family. You're like constantly eating, you're freaking out, just like causing problems with the black caiman.
Take down a black caiman.
Yeah, start a street fight.
Yeah.